029, food. If you suffer from an eating disorder such as bulimia or anorexia, this book can help, but you should participate in a therapeutic plan that is specific and comprehensive to your disorder. Eating disorders cannot be taken lightly because anorexia and bulimia can kill, and both require exclusive and dedicated treatments. These are complex disorders and require specialized skill and treatments. Only a treatment professional who specializes in eating disorders is qualified to treat them. Food addiction behaviors are driven by emotional, psychological, and neurochemical deficiencies or defects, and almost always require counseling or psychotherapy formulas to successfully manage them. A lot can be learned through the first half of this book, which explores the nature and science of addiction and how it functions. Food addiction bridges both the substance and behavioral addictions, bordering within both. The pleasure-pain principle, 30, 60, 90, and many of the specific drug and behavioral addiction strategies can be modified to adapt to an eating disorder strategy when used in conjunction with a behavioral health professional. A food addiction needs to be treated with the similar formulas of titration and restructuring detailed in the smoking cessation and caffeine plans. I am by no means suggesting that a food addiction is the same as these other addictions. Every addiction is uniquely complex and multi-layered within our minds, whether it is tobacco, caffeine, food, or heroin. While every addiction is as unique as every person experiencing it, there are categories, and smoking, sex, caffeine, and food addictions all fall together into a hybridized category of substance and behavior. These other strategies are largely transferable and can be adapted to food, with the emphasis put upon the titration and restructuring of the behavior itself. By offsetting quantities, times, and places of habitual behaviors, we cause them to weaken. By slowly installing and repeating new replacement behaviors, we become habituated to them the same way we became habituated to the toxic ones. A template for food addiction. Weeks 1 to 3, eat the same foods with the same frequencies, but reduce quantities by 1/3, i.e. 1/3 less of the entree portion, 1/3 less of your vegetable, 1/3 less on the starch. Do not put your regular quantities on your plate and rely on willpower to reduce quantity. Discard excess amounts immediately to minimize deprivation feelings that may erode your commitment. It is recommended to make the same meal quantities and only discard the third portions after the meal is made. I know it seems like a waste, but it is better for a while to prepare the same portions you are accustomed to and discard the 1/3 to avoid subconscious sabotage of the titration. This takes much of the thinking out of the meal preparation, and that can be critical. Weeks 4 to 6, reduce quantities again to near goal proportions. If you have a junk food issue, replace the 1/3 reduced quantity of junk foods with a healthy alternative and eat it first. Week 7 and on, reduce to goal proportions and continue to add healthier choice portions 1 week at a time until a lifestyle is created. Goal proportions. Determine what the healthy amount and type of food intake would be if you were at your ideal weight and fitness. This is your goal proportion, and it should be very slowly and gradually worked towards. Diets do not work. They are too abrupt, and our addictive minds love extreme circumstances. The sabotaging subconscious knows we cannot go from one end of the spectrum to the other in an instant and is waiting for us to try. Gradually is the only way to modify eating habits. When I became a vegetarian, I allowed 2 portions of meat per week for a while, and then 1. In about a month, I lost the taste for meat altogether, and 12 years later, I never miss it or even think about it. My subconscious became so conditioned, it no longer even perceives meat as a food. Similar conditioning can work for portions and healthier food choices. With trial and error and continuing to modify and customize, we can train and condition our minds to accept nearly anything as a habit or addiction. So let's condition them to have good habits and addictions. A learned habit is a learned habit. Good or bad is up to us.